And now it's time for a podcast with Kel Beyond. Keep dreaming, my friend. Keep dreaming.
It's true. Now it is time for a podcast with Kel Biones and 3 other people. The name of that podcast is Keep Dreaming. And it's a podcast about Dreams, the video game and creation engine for PlayStation, and the community that brings it to life. Today, the slice of community that I'm speaking with are all Dreams content creators who make beautiful tutorial videos. And they are meanlad, aka Luke. I might go back and forth. I asked beforehand. TAPgiles and VinceKully. Welcome to the show, everybody. How are you guys doing this morning? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just gave the whole intro, and I was muted to our guests, and our guests were muted. So the awkward silence is all on me. We're off to a great start. See, what I like to do is make sure I've got a big flub right at the beginning, just to get our guests comfortable. You know, let them know like this isn't too professional. You don't have to.
Not going to be that bad.
So that voice is the voice of TAPgiles. Tap, how are you doing today?
Okay, thanks. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. As usual, I start the show by talking about my lack of sleep. We have what is she? She's almost 14 weeks, I think. She just over 3-month-old infant in the house, and her sleep schedule is just starting to stabilize a little bit. She's just starting to sleep at night, and there are these like blissful sections of evening where there's just peace in the house, and yeah, it's been kind of great. I'm still adjusting and figuring out how to get to sleep before 6 a.m, but things are good. Things are very good. meanlad, how are you doing today?
Ooh, I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Yeah, pretty warm, pretty good here in Cape Town. But yeah, no, feeling pretty good. Excited to be here to join the podcast and chat with everyone.
As far
Very
as
excited.
I know,
Woo woo.
I think you might be the first guest we've had on from the Southern Hemisphere. Might be. I can't even think. The only other dreamer I can think of that I know is in the Southern Hemisphere would be Dirty Harold's. I'm sure there are more, but they're not coming to mind. I am very jealous because my evening is going to be spent shoveling snow off the driveway.
Oh dang, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's like summer, just no snow.
Have you ever
No
shoveled
snow
snow?
in Cape Town.
Have
Maybe
you
on
ever
like the
known the
highest
pleasure
mountain peak
of
you'll see like a
shoveling
drop of-
snow?
That is a pleasure that I have been totally devoid of my entire life. So tragic. I'll be with you in spirit while you shovel it.
Well, if you find that your back is working a little too well, and you want to rough it up a bit, shoveling snow is a great way to do it. Yeah, we're around Chicago.
I'll hit on it.
So a snowblower becomes a very nice luxury to have if you can afford one, and we have made the investment.
Yeah.
Vince,
That's epic.
VinceKully is on the West Coast.
Yo.
Vince,
I am in California.
so a little warmer than what I'm dealing with here. You probably
Oh,
don't do a
yeah.
lot of snow shoveling.
No, as you can see, I'm wearing a jacket, but that's just because I'm used to the warmness. Here it's what is it, like 60 degrees? 65 Fahrenheit? That's like 18 Celsius.
That sounds so good.
So it's nice.
That
So he
sounds very
wanted
nice.
to look cooler than anyone else on the stream.
What?
So you wanted to look cooler than anyone else. Or keep your jacket on.
Well, it's kind of cold. I have the window open, drinking this cold coffee. Like I said, I'm used to
You got
the hotter.
a drum kit behind you. Is that for you to play?
It is. It's actually right here to my. This is a mirror.
Whoa.
As you can see, I'm back
Smoke and
there.
mirrors without Vince.
Yeah.
I did not realize.
Yeah.
Very sneaky.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, that's a drum set.
Well, to kind of get us started, I wouldn't mind finding out the origin story of where each of you came from and how you came to be involved in Dreams and started making videos and all that. And Vince, why don't we start with you? Where do you come from, Vince? All the way back to the beginning. I want the details of your birth. All the schools you went to. We need your GPAs if you've got those handy.
Gotcha. You my social or?
Off stream, you can
Gotcha.
give me that info. We would,
Cool.
I care about your security.
Right, of course. All right. Well, I'm not going to tell you where I went to school. That's okay. You don't need to know that. I got started in Dreams maybe, what was it, like February 2020? So this was a couple months after, or was that when it came out? I don't know.
I think so. Was that?
Yeah.
That was the month it
Yeah,
released.
the public launch.
Gotcha. Okay. I'd never heard of it before. And my friend picked it up and he was like, dude, you got to see this. People are like making games and stuff in here. And I was like, what? On a console? Because we had made games in the past, me and some friends in like Unity and, played around with stuff like that. And so I picked it up and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And at the time, there were a few games out that were like, I was like, wow, these look completely different, like I was expecting them to kind of all be the same, have a samey kind of look and feel and stuff.
You would expect that from a creation engine on a console. You would expect that.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I got into it. I was, a friend showed it to me and then he ended up not playing it anymore and I just kind of went hard. I dove in, I watched like every tutorial video I could find. Like I watched like all of Tap's videos. I watched all of Jimmy Jules' videos, like every single one of them. And then I was like, and then the arcade jam came out. That was like the jam when I bought it. And I was like, all right, let's see if I can make a game. And I was like, that was pretty fun.
What did you make for your first game?
It was Arcade Owner Simulator. Let me see if I can find the...
That sounds cool. I like that concept.
Yeah, it's like an idle game,
great.
Like you do kind of nothing. Like your machines break and you have to fix them, but other than that, like nothing really happens.
Yeah.
And then every day you buy new stuff, so you're like leveling up your arcade while you're playing it. So you start off, you have like no posters and your carpet sucks and you only have 2 machines. And so like the whole idea is that you can become the best arcade in town.
So it sounds like that's a very logic heavy project
It was.
to using other aspects of Dreams.
Yeah, a lot of state machines. It was pretty fun. I learned a lot by doing that. I went back and looked at it and I'm like, oh God, what is this?
Never look at your old logic. Just avoid it.
Yeah. I also don't think that it was that clear what the game was, because I remember I think it was my first interaction with Tap. He's like, so what is the game? I don't get it. I'll post the link in chat.
Yeah, I feel like if you haven't, I don't know. I mean, I haven't played that game, but I feel like if you haven't played an idle game, it might not be immediately obvious how that's supposed to work.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that was fun, and then it was fun to make. And then I thought, well, there's some cool tutorials out there already, but let me see if I can apply like some things that I know and put them into videos. I'm a software developer, by the way, during the day, and I'd made games in the past, so I thought it'd be cool to like kind of come at it from that perspective.
I just pulled up Vince's game on the screen. Oh, we got that little that cat character.
Cat character? Oh yeah, those had just come out, I think.
From the welcome.
Yeah, the welcome garden something.
When they did the platforming kit with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you said that you had developed games before Dreams in Unity and whatnot, that definitely caught my attention. What can you tell me about how that went down? How you and what those experiences were like?
Sure. I mean, they were all like for game jams, and all of them I either worked with one or two friends on. Um, the first one we did was for it was like a really stupid game. It's called Quick Press A. We had this like joke, this inside joke with our friends that like this game that would just be like quick press A and you're just like mashing the button. You know, it's one of those masher games, and it's like, all right, time to take a break. Press A to take a break.
Quick
And so we
press
made
A.
that. Yeah, quick press A. That was fun. We actually turned it into quick press Alf for an Alf themed art show at one point, which was nice. We swapped the background music for the Alf theme song.
I like the name.
Yeah. And then we did some other ones. One of them was called Me, You, and Hugh. And I made a game in Dreams called Me, You, and Hugh 2, No One's Blue, which is like a 2-player co-op game. And that's actually a sequel to the original Me, You, and Hugh, which was like a 3-player co-op game where each person controls different RGB sliders.
So you said they were mostly for game jams. Were these who organized the jams that you were getting involved in?
I think multiple of them were itch.io jams, itch.io jams. There was one more. I don't remember what the like who started the jam. Like what it was. They were all online jams though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Me, You, and Hugh 2, No One's Blue. I do remember playing that. I just pulled it up to see.
Yeah.
Just pulled it up to check it out.
And the other game that one of the other games we made in the game jam was called Ant MBA, where you play as an ant trying to make your way up in the business world.
Nice. These are strong concepts.
Yeah, that was probably the best game that we made. It had like platforming. It had a bunch of different like level types, game types like mashed into one.
So did you find that background helped you to grasp Dream's logic more easily?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yes and no. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can't really do in Dreams, or well, you can't do it in the way that you would if you were like writing code. So it's kind of cool because I kind of viewed a lot of the problems like that as like it's like a puzzle game in itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like puzzle games, so it's kind of fun figuring out like, all right, how do I do this in Dreams?
It does feel like a game, doesn't it? Like when it's good, when you're having a good day, it feels like a beautiful puzzle game you're unraveling. And I guess when you're having a bad day, it feels like a really frustrating puzzle game that you're trying to unravel.
Yep.
meanlad, let's can you tell me a little bit about how did you find Dreams, and what did you do when you got your hands on it?
Well, yeah. So I mean, it was kind of like strange because I also found Dreams like a little bit after Vince. It was kind of like April 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit of like a crazy time because we'd like just gone into lockdown. You know what I mean? It was like all employment opportunities were just like, wow, so it was just like all sort of work stuff that had been like planned for 2020 was just like, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
So I was kind of just chilling.
2020. That's the theme of 2020. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I was chilling on YouTube one day, and then I saw like, I'm a huge fan of Avatar, so I saw like Elka Gaming's like Avatar game, like 80 hours of development, whatever. And I was just like, oh, what? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Watched a bunch of his videos, and in one of them it was like, oh, what's so great about Dreams is that like you don't have to have like crazy programming knowledge. Which I thought was great because like I did kind of like, programming stuff in school and in high school, but I wasn't like amazing at it, like finished with 60% kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of okay / dumb at programming. Like Buffett Readers was like the ultimate extent of my like programming ability.
And I'm laughing hard. So,
Yeah.
so you think that I understand what that means?
Yeah, so pretty much it was like I just didn't have huge programming skills, and I was like, I love games and I love playing them. I'd want to make them, but there'd just never be like a means for me to do that. I did sort of find stuff over the years. I do stuff like back in the day, like Warcraft 3 maps, and like freaking, I did some work with like RPG Maker, like sort of games and that sort of a thing. But Dreams was just like a lot more holistic, because you could do stuff like audio and animation and all these things, where a lot of other game making stuff has sort of like presets that you got to work out of. Dreams, I feel like you can start from scratch, but there's also just like tons of tools that are already there. You don't have to get like crazy plugins and whatever. And everyone's kind of also on like a kind of level playing field, with some of the other game making stuff, some people have like such crazy like plugins and mods and so on and so forth that you create like a potato and they create like the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I kind of got into Dreams, I'd say about like April/May of 2020.
Was there? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I wanted to sort of like make videos and share them. Mm-hmm.
So you
I
were
wanted to
thinking
like
that- you
make
were thinking
videos
that
and
right
share them,
from-
but I didn't know what I wanted to do at first.
Yeah. Right
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Like from early stages, because I was kind of like, Dreams is like fairly new, and I can see that there's kind of like a few sort of YouTubers out here making some cool stuff, and I'm like, I've always wanted to sort of dip my toe into this pond. So why not? Because like with other stuff, there'd be like it's been established for years. If you went into Unity and you're like, I'm going to start making tutorials now, there's like a million years of people who've made other tutorials probably better, that you'd have to sort of compete with. So I feel like with Dreams, it was kind of like pioneery, foundational vibes still in 2020. Although I know people had been sort of early access/beta vibes in 2019.
Honestly, I still feel like we're kind of there. This still feels like like foundational vibes at the moment.
Absolutely, and it does feel like those early days, and that we're sort of just all working together to make something like really awesome and help other people make things that are awesome. And I just love it.
Yeah. So how did you when you were getting to know Dreams, were there tutorial makers that you were watching to help you figure it out?
Absolutely, like my boy Tap over here, shout out. Also
he
like
comes up a
Neon the
lot.
Coder and these,
Yeah.
I feel like Mr. Wooshi, whatever it might be. Like there was a few, and there was. I felt like I wanted to sort of make some tutorials as well, and like my things were like very much motivated by like making like abilities, like fireball, how to make a fireball.
Yeah.
And my sort of vibe is that like I'm dumb, so unlike Tap, who's super smart, like I'm dumb, so I can explain it in like a dumb way so anyone can understand. I mean, Tap's videos are great because they do explain it in a simple way. But that was like my thing. I was like, if I can do it, anyone can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my motivation, and that's why I sort of learned the ropes and stuff. And a lot of it was also kind of just like on the job. You go into it, you try to figure out the logic. Someone's like, "Oh, bro, can you please make a this kind of tutorial?" And I'm like, "I have no idea how I do that. Let me try." And then, if it works, you post it.
So was that was your first experience doing cutting videos for YouTube?
Yeah.
Was
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Very nice.
And I was super trash at it in the beginning. My videos were trash. The quality was trash. It was amazing. Like my first videos were like playing like a playthrough of like the tutorials or something. It just wasn't great. They're still up there. Definitely don't watch them.
I just had to
but
add
like my
here.
audio was just terrible in the beginning videos. It was like super quiet.
Oh yeah, audio is like the last
Yes,
thing people
yeah.
figure out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I had to say, Kamau in the chat. Kamau in the chat said, "Could cut that accent with a knife, bruh." Kamau also, I believe she originates from South Africa.
How's it, Marie? Are you well? Yo, guys, the accent. This is my cleanest accent. Like I can go deep. You won't even be able to understand.
Go deep. Go deep.
TAPgiles. TAPgiles.
No, I can't do it.
I feel like
Do it.
if there's I feel like if there's a name that is synonymous with Dreams tutorials in my mind, TAPgiles is definitely up there on the list. Tap, I'm trying to think if I know your origin story at all. I know some of your background, but why don't you tell us when did you first gain an awareness of dreams and start heading in this direction?
First was the announcement in 2015, I guess, with the like dancing puppets, and
Was that the music one or the?
yeah, they were like puppets kind of dancing with each other, and then one on the drums and things like that.
Was it without the one with the banana playing electric
no,
guitar?
Earlier than that, I think.
Okay.
And then it was John Beach and Mark Healy with the moves in the background, like animating out the
Oh yeah.
waltz or whatever. Yeah, and I had no idea what that meant, but I thought it looked cool. I was like, that's probably going to be cool because it's LBP molecule and stuff. But I didn't really.
Did you get involved in LBP at all?
No. I played the first one and I think the second one, but just like the campaign mode, just playing.
Yeah.
But later on, when I saw them kind of demonstrating actually making stuff and like cloning out the little island with the tuft of grass, that kind of really sparked interest because I've always wanted to do stuff like make 3D objects and animation and things like that. It was tools are just like really tough to get into. Like seeing them you make 3D stuff and animate stuff so easily. Kind of, I felt like, oh, maybe I can do it, and maybe this kind of dream isn't just dead on the vine. Yeah, so actually, I got lucky enough to be in the beta, and started making stuff. Right after beta ended, I actually started watching more tutorials, particularly by Jimmy Jules. And that's when I started the documentation just in a Google Doc, and just writing up everything I could remember and everything I could see in different videos that people had made, and as like a reference type of thing for people to use. But like it was at least like a year or year and a half before it was like in a more polished format that people could use more.
Do you have a page count? How do you measure this? I want to describe the size of this guide to people, but I'm not sure how to do so.
Yeah, I think the last time I checked, it was something like 60,000 words.
That's a lot of words. Do you think we'll say 60,000 words on this podcast? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll go long.
Let me just give TAPgiles an early plug and say if you haven't been to TAPgiles.com, there are a number of useful resources there, and the Dreams Guide is probably the centerpiece of them all. 60,000 word manual that just goes deep on every gadget, every menu function probably that is in Dreams, and I have often referred to it and found it to be very helpful. Also, a nice icon guide there that is a good dream stop. You can do a keyword search on every icon available in Dreams, like every icon you could pull up in a text gadget. You could do a keyword search, and with multiple names, right? I mean, you've got things sort of cross-referenced to where it's very searchable.
Yeah, it like shows the icon big and then like keywords and stuff, and like smaller icon links to the other icons in the document. I like an icon might contain other icons, or it might be a variant of another icon, things like that.
Yeah.
You can kind of, if you want, like there's an arrow that points to the right, but it's not just a normal arrow. It's kind of like a hand-drawn arrow. There's 4 different versions of that. So if you just search for arrow on the page, then you'll find one of the many arrows, and then you can click through the different links to find those funny hand-drawn ones. Be able to use that in your thing.
Kamau says, Kamau says your guide goes deeper than most formal documents. Definitely.
Yeah. Best. It's tricky with some things, being able to like look at the actual code that's running or anything. I don't have any like insider or MM feeding me information. It's pretty much all from just experimentation, figure out the edge cases and know how they really work. The icons guide was actually a byproduct of making the documentation, because I wanted to use like the X button icon in the documentation, things like that. There were so many icons that it was hard for me to find the like what's that setting for that gadget? What's the name for that icon?
Yeah.
Then I started going through those, and it's been a lot of work over the years, but even I use it quite a lot.
So did you start working on these projects right when you got your hands on Dreams? I mean, right at the start of the beta? I guess what I want to know is, were you interested in educating people in this platform from the start, or were you more enticed as a creator at the start?
During beta, I was just creating. Pretty much, I mean, I was on Reddit, the Reddit subreddit thing, answering what I could, which wasn't that much at the time. But when I really got a taste for helping was, I think it must have been in early access. Just started streaming one day, and I didn't even have a mic or anything. I just responded in the chat, but people were starting to ask questions and stuff, and I got a headset. And then the next time, like, I was still kind of scared to actually talk people live and stuff.
Yeah,
but they kind of convinced me to put on the mic and stuff, and then I just started. They asked me a question, and I show them live, and then I randomly, someone asked how to like, they had a bee and they wanted the wings to kind of animate flapping, and I showed them the kind of easy, straightforward way of the timeline with keyframes and loop it and how it flaps. And I thought, maybe I could use a signal generator, a keyframe, and the other set of wings were flapping opposite. So then I have a NOT gate to another keyframe for the other set of wings. So I just went on this whole like tangent on how the signal manipulator works, how we can use it just for these tiny bee wings.
I can see the light opening from the heavens, Tap. I can see at this moment the light, just a shaft of light shining down on you, and and the singing. And when I hear the first time, Tap thought, what if I put a signal generator into a keyframe? That sounds like a moment.
It really was, I think.
Well, Tap, you are definitely responsible for me understanding that you pretty much timelines and keyframes are like, they are the bread and butter, I guess, of Dreams logic. Like, there's so many difficult ways to do. You know how many times I've heard the story of, I wanted like some sequential events to happen, and so I put a bunch of timers down and set them to different times to trigger things, and you mean this little blue gadget blue gadget. You should put stuff on it. It's called a timeline, and you can actually do it that way. I feel like I've heard that a lot. I definitely relate to that.
Yeah. I still get that in videos. I didn't realize you could use a timeline like that, like using it to control logic or controlling the playhead on a timeline, things like that. There are these kind of key cruxes of kind of semi-hidden features, different gadgets. When you understand it, it just unlocks a whole new way of doing things. So it's pretty fun when that happens.
Absolutely. I feel like to your point about your story about starting to stream on Twitch, I feel like the dreams category is such a nice place for anyone to start streaming. I mean, they're nice chats. I've spent a lot of time on Twitch, and most streamers that are pretty cool people have pretty nice chats, but Dreams chat is definitely a cut above. I've seen just so many supportive people, helping the streamers to feel more comfortable, which is not always the way it goes. But
particularly for creation type streams, because it's kind of people only play. But when you're watching a creator, there's a lot of people like want to help, or when the streamer is facing a problem, you just can't help but like in a tip or something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, I've had so many instances of that, creating on stream, and I've got a problem that, if I was by myself, I'd be going to watch videos. I would be, I'd be going down the rabbit hole for an hour, and someone in chat comes in and says, "Oh, hey, just do it like this." Oh, thank you. It really, like, streaming your dreams creation can be a superpower. It can also be super distracting and make things a little more difficult depending on your stream. But yeah, Twitch, your chat is definitely a superpower when it's full of dreamers.
In the early days, when I've been playing, doing stuff in dreams all day, so I was all dreamed out. I'd and watch your stream and like cool ideas and some stuff in the background. I think that helped like develop that desire to help people, like more, because it's a nice feeling to be able to help people, and it's I'm guessing it's not often that you get to do that with someone that's streaming,
right?
Unless they're like playing a puzzle game or something, because most of the time it's just playing a game.
Yeah, and they're saying, "Please don't backseat," right?
Yeah.
Like, I know not every person streaming dreams wants you to come in and start telling them what to do. There are times when maybe that's not the most appropriate thing, but I think usually it's welcome.
Yeah, I try to take it easy, not say every tiny little that comes into my head.
I have the same problem, Tap. I have to exercise a lot of restraint, too, when I am helping someone, to not overwhelm. Like, let me ask you this, and we can kind of open up to anyone who's got feedback on this question. But I'm curious, after all three of you have got, I think all three of you have well over a year of experience, like putting down videos on YouTube, educating dreamers. What have you learned since you started? If you wanted to give advice, if someone wanted advice, hey, I want to start making some tutorial videos and teaching people dreams, what could you offer them that you've learned in your journeys?
Vince, bro. Do you want to
Yeah.
go first?
All right, I guess I'll go first. Well, I mean, you know, a lot of the usual stuff like thumbnails really important. The titles very important, right? Like for like videos themselves. I think that's just like a general thing that works on YouTube. And like my most popular YouTube video, interestingly enough, is on like making music in dreams, which I actually think there's a pretty big lack of that on YouTube. And I've been wanting to make more. I just, you know, haven't. But yeah, that one was called like 5 music tips, right? In dreams. That was like the classic, like
Number in there, yeah.
I should have made it like 5 music tips to make you a dreams music pro, you know? Like, you know, something like that.
Make sure to mention this one weird trick.
Right, exactly. Media
put
molecule
top
devs
5
hate when
trick.
I do this one thing, right?
Yeah. If you put top 5 tricks, you would have like doubled your view count for
Right,
sure.
exactly. And that thing has like by far the most amount of views. The next highest thing I have was like a wall jump thing, and it's got over 4 times the view count on that thing. So
That's got to be. Oh wait, you mean the wall jump has less than the.
yeah, 4 times less than the music tips.
Those both sound like areas that might not be extensively covered.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, but yeah, it's weird. It's always the videos that I put the least amount of effort into that seem to be the most popular. Like I'll work really hard on something, and it's just like nobody gives a crap, you know.
Big smiles
and then,
from TAPgiles and meanlad right now. I think this is very relatable.
yeah. So I would say don't overthink it. If you think something's cool, like go for it. But expectations, you know, keeping those in place is probably a good idea. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. Cover some music stuff because like nobody does it.
I mean, there's such a big music community too. I'm almost a little surprised. Like, there's not more people pumping out videos. And music in dreams goes really deep. Like it goes shockingly deep. Like the amount of things that you can learn after you think you've kind of got everything down. It's just that there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty cool stuff.
I've got I think it's like 20 videos on the just on the tweak menu of a sound gadget and what they will do. Yeah, like for my tutorials, it's more about the technical engine stuff and logic stuff, like actually using it in practice, like making music and like music theory or anything.
Have you noticed any commonalities between your videos that have got more views?
For me, I think it's been stuff to do with cameras. So making a first-person camera rig is my most viewed.
I mean, that's daunting when you just pull up dreams and wondering how do I make something first person just from the start.
It's actually not my. I wouldn't. It's funny, it's my most viewed video, but I've got a simpler tutorial to do the same thing quicker.
Oh no!
And that has like way less views.
That's gotta hurt. Like no, this is better. Can I just redirect everyone?
Yeah. Such luck with YouTube. So yeah, so it's I can hear you again. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what'll make the algorithm happy or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably say if you'd like to help people, don't even worry about tutorial like videos and stuff like that. Just whatever whatever moment you feel like helping someone, just help them, and just upon helping people in that mode, and then like think about how you can help more people. So like so the easiest way would be answering questions on Reddit and Twitter and whatever. But then the next level up would be making, like, from that kind of experience and understanding how what common questions people have, you can make a tutorial that shows them how to do it instead of having to type it out every time, and that helps you answer those questions in the future. And that's kind of now anyway. That's kind of what everything comes out of, is helping people with specific questions. And then tutorials are there to be able to link people to answer their questions. Documentation is there to be able to link people to answer more like technical questions, things like that. So if it just like whatever style and format your helping takes, just for it and see where it takes you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Dreamers helping dreamers. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, totally, exactly, and that's actually where I first saw Tap, was in like the Reddit, because I went onto like the Dreams Reddit, and I was like, I want to see what's going on here, what the vibes are, and then there's the like weekly questions thread, and people would ask questions, and I'd be like, wait, I know how to do that. So I was like, oh, you do sort of something like this. Now, mind you, it was a challenge, because you'd have to you'd try and find a question that Tap hadn't already answered, because Tap was in that chat, like he was in that subreddit smashing those questions hard. And every now and then someone would be like, oh, you'd explain it, and you'd be like, cool, but like, oh, can you actually like make a video about it or something?
Yeah,
because you'd explain it, but the like you'd have this dank text box that would just be like intense.
Sometimes in dreams you just you need to see it done. Like
I feel like that sort of textual side of like answering people's questions, which people always exactly, because it's so like visual, you know what I mean? It's like you can't throw shade at any programs, but like I feel like in dreams when you can see these things, how it connects and all these various things, the inputs and outputs and so on and so forth. I think it's like the next logical step. And like I remember, like when it comes to YouTube stuff specifically, I remember having like many conversations and like lols with Vince about like giving our videos like trash names, like top 5 tips to like do this, and like all our best videos have those like really like cringy names, you know. And when he said that thing about like like devs hate this guy, yo, bro, I was so dead. Yeah, because like my like most popular video is like a fireball ability guide. I made like the first like 2 weeks of making tutorials. So like the audio is awful. You can't hear anything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just cringy. It's not a vibe. But like, yeah, those ones kind of from like the early days, you never know what's going to clap, you know?
I think that's, I hear that and it sounds like, it sounds very like fireball ability guide. If I know nothing about making games and dreams and I know I want to make an action game, I'm probably going to click on that. And even though like fireball ability guide is so inspecific, I mean, it could be anything ability guide, and you might do it, it might be done a dozen different ways, and only one of those is useful to me, but it's still like, it sounds like, oh, I want to see that. I would, if I don't know what's going on, like that sounds like a great place to start. Show me a fireball.
Exactly. And you want to kind of just give people the tools to make stuff. And once they figure out, oh, okay, sweet, if this is how I can make a fireball, then I can also make like, other spells and other abilities, and they can sort of expand from those things and make their own dreams and make their own stuff.
Next up, ice balls.
And I feel like that's what we love doing, is giving people like the tools and skills to make things on their own. Ice balls, exactly. Just change the stroke, change the color, and you got an ice ball. But like also what Vince was saying about like putting your heart and soul into videos, and then they get like 10 views, and this piece of trash you filmed like on your phone upside down at night gets like just like crazy views. I can relate to that. You like, because you can never estimate or like guess what people will just like jive with. You can, you can spend like days, weeks, like making something, and then like it might not have the same impact. Like, I think that's why it's cool to just like interact with the Dreams community, because early on I was kind of, you don't have as much feedback, so you're kind of just going off what's on the top of your head. Yeah. I've always had such good vibes from like the comment sections and from the the people getting involved and asking questions. Like you said, the community's a bit like a cut above, and so for me, if anyone wanted to create their own sorts of things, I would just and kind of like what Tap was saying, get involved in like the Reddit, see what people are doing, see what people are trying to figure out. There's like always new tutorials and new things being made. So I would say just like jump in, make tons of stuff, make tons of stuff, and figure out what you can like work on as you go along,
Yeah.
because the first few videos aren't gonna be perfect.
I
and you'll
think
probably cringe when you look back at them, but
I think you
build that
should.
stuff up over time.
I think your
Boy.
next video should be the ice ball video, and you just make the exact same video, but this time you use everything that you've learned since then, and it's an ice ball instead, and see if it does better, or if it completely flops and the other one continues stealing all the views, then that's a story too.
What you do is you have the exact same video, and you just hue shift the red to blue.
There you go.
See if anyone notices.
And then change the make a better thumbnail and make sure the title is more clickbaity.
Exactly.
Kamal was asking a question in chat. Are you looking at your referrals and taking video names? So then Vince asked to clarify. Look at your referrals and see the keywords people used to find your video, and then change the video name based on that. Interesting. Looking at your referrals to see the keywords people used to find your video, and then changing the video name based on how people are already finding it. Is that something any of you have done?
You see the like search?
Yeah. So like,
that they use?
for example, that video I was talking about, the 5 tips or whatever. Like 10% of the total traffic for that video came from actual YouTube search or from suggested videos off of another video, and 31% of that came from what 1,000 plus hours on Dream's PS4 audio sounds like. I think that's what
Kind of
was
use the
talking about
title
was
of the
right, kind of
referring
taking note of exactly. Yeah, you can also see like search terms that brought people there too, or that brought your video up when they search certain things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've tried looking for that, but I haven't figured out how to get that kind of stuff. And I'm definitely not. If you want to be good at YouTube, then don't ask me any questions. So I've been on the YouTube channel I have now for like a couple of years, and it's I've got a decent number of subscribers, but like all my views are really low and things like that. So it's lucky that's not what I'm in it for.
Well, TAPgiles, a special surprise for you today. We're here to give your YouTube channel a total makeover. No, I'm kidding.
Move the bus.
Oh
wow. No, I think like with those like keyword things, I think like the ones that I find the most are like hashtag Dreams tutorial. You know what I mean? Like Dreams PS4 and tutorial, like the main things I find. I feel like I make such obscure stuff that no one would like actually search for it. But then they sort of just like will like stumble upon it and be like, oh, and so, but yeah, absolutely. I always put like Dreams tutorial in my like description.
What drives your decision to make a video on a certain subject?
Like in the olden days, it was pretty much just what I could figure out and do at the time. People would leave questions or like leave suggestions in the comments and stuff. but nowadays, like, because I can make community posts, I can do like the polls and that, which are great because you can ask like, hey, I'm thinking of 5 ideas, which one do you guys want me to do? So that stuff is really useful.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish polls were available to like YouTubers even before you hit like 1K subs or whatever, because it's just such a useful feature. Because it's not like all 1,000 subs or whatever are going to answer the vote. It's often only like, like a couple dozen or maybe like 100 max or something.
Right.
So it's a great feature. I use sort of like voting, and also people will be like, oh, can you make something on this? And then I'll be like, sweet, I'll add it to the poll. Yeah. So, but originally it was just like off the top of my head. What I could do, I was like, you can do this like that.
Here's the list of things
yeah.
I can do. I'm just gonna keep working down it. Yeah. I mean, when you start dreams,
exactly.
like that's it. Like it's you feel very, very limited. There's only so much you can swing. Can I ask the same question to Tap and to Vince? Like what? How do you decide what you're actually going to focus on in a video?
Sometimes it's I just have a brainwave of how to do thing, and try it out, and if it works, then I like make a tutorial the next stream or something, because I'm like excited about showing this new method or something. But also the common questions that people ask that I answer and stuff. If there's a load of people talking about one thing and they're all getting stuck on this one problem, I'll often do a tutorial based on that to try and help the most people.
You're very active, like we were saying earlier on the Dream subreddit and on Twitter. Regularly posting tweets, just saying, got a question? Like if you're stuck on something hard in Dreams, go to Twitter, just go to Tap's page, scroll down until you see him looking for questions, and ask one. It can be that simple. And sometimes the answer can be much simpler than you'd expect.
Just at me, whether on Twitter or Reddit. If you mention me, then I'll get that in my notifications, and I can just go straight to it. It's another way of getting hold of me if you want.
How about you, Vince? What drives your content selection?
Oh, when it first started, it was like I mean I got a massive note on my phone, just like different video ideas. But when I started it, Jimmy Jules and TAPgiles had like and Lady Lex, they all had like a bunch of videos on like how the gadgets work, and I was like, well, I don't really want to cover that. I feel like it's kind of covered. So I wanted to make things that were like a little bit more. I don't know, I guess just a little different. So I don't remember what the first things I put out were, but they were definitely like, I was just trying to expand what wasn't already on YouTube, I suppose, fill in the gaps. And then I never really get any questions I mean, I get a few every now and then, like, how do I do this in Dreams? And those ones I've all marked down, but those are usually pretty complex things. Like, how do I make like the entirety of Gears of War in Dreams, like the full cover system or something like that, which is a great question, but sometimes those videos can be really tough to tackle and not have them be like 3 hours long.
The answer is go build a platformer first.
Right.
That's the correct answer.
So it's usually something that, at least back in the day when I started this, it was like something that I haven't seen a video for yet, that either popped into my head randomly or something that I already kind of knew how to do in another engine but needed to figure out how to do it in Dreams, and something that I could explain in like tops 20 minutes, because I didn't want my videos to be like really long, because there were some other videos out there that were like, I'd see the title and it would be like, ooh, I want to learn how to do that. But it's like an hour and 40 minutes, and it's just a capture of somebody's stream, and I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole thing. Which admittedly I did a couple times. I like fell asleep on the couch watching a couple people's like way too long videos. No shade or anything. That's just how it was. And it was like really late in the morning, and that was when I first started Dream. So I was like really into it. Lately, it's just been like I'll play a game and I'll be like, I wonder how I could make that in Dreams, and so I'll write it down. Or like, oh, this would actually be kind of simple to make in Dreams, and I'll write it down. There have been a couple that I've picked up from like questions, but for the most part, it's something that I feel inspired to make to begin with.
Yeah.
And just like meanlad was saying, like, you just kind of make it, and then you're like, I might as well show people how I made this.
So it's really your personal interests that drive your content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I start doing a bunch more music videos, because clearly people are interested in learning how to do more stuff with music. I just feel like that's such a huge topic to tackle. And I personally watch a lot of non-Dreams, just like music, educational music type stuff on YouTube.
Want to name drop any?
Yeah, I'd have to look at my subscriptions because I don't even, a lot of them I don't even know the names of, but like Adam Neely's a big one, right? That one I can remember. There's a pianist named Noah Kelman. I think he's got some cool stuff, things like that.
Do you know, I think it's called 8-Bit Theory?
Oh, 8-Bit Music Theory is
8-Bit
fantastic.
Music Theory, yeah. I've watched a handful of those. Those are fun.
Yeah. So things like that, I really dig that kind of stuff. And then of course there's a bunch of other things out there, like, if you just search like gospel chords or something, right? You'll find like a billion different channels that all, almost every single one of these videos will say like the 3 chords like you need to know, to play gospel or whatever. And you watch it, and it's and I watch all these videos on like double speed, right? And they're like 40 minutes long, and you walk away with it going, I didn't really learn anything. Like in the context of the video, like, yeah, those sounded cool, but like I don't see how I could take that right. So a lot of times, and I feel that with a lot of music theory and just music analysis type videos, a lot of times I don't really learn very much. So I think before I would ever make more like music videos or music related stuff, I'd have to figure out why I feel that way, because I feel like it's just a hard thing to tackle, Music's like an art, so it's kind of like saying like, how to get better at drawing. Like you can only watch so much before you have to just do it yourself.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably why it's not that easy to tackle. But yeah.
What is your music background? When did you start playing music, and what do you play other than drums, if anything else?
Yeah. So I started in middle school. Like I played a low brass instrument, the euphonium, which is kind of like a small tuba, same register as a trombone. And then I started playing the drums. Started taking drum lessons like at the end of middle school.
How do you end up on euphonium? I'm sorry, that took a beat. Like was euphonium one of the like top level choices? We didn't even have euphoniums in the orchestras I played in. It was like, I think by high school there was like one kid that was playing a euphonium, and I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah, I think I did it because like nobody else wanted to.
You were picked last. They lined everyone up.
No, it wasn't that I picked last. And I also joined band with like my best friend at the time, and he was playing the tuba. And they needed both a tuba player and a euphonium player. So he picked the tuba, and I was like, well, I'll play the euphonium.
Oh, you made the smart choice.
Well,
I lifted a tuba.
Yeah. I ended up playing tuba a little bit in high school too, so it worked out.
Marching band?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was in a marching band. I also was in the drum line too. So those kind of, that was fun, switching between the melodic instruments and the rhythmic stuff.
Nice. I was jealous of I was jealous of all the percussionists in marching band. That definitely felt like the cool place to be. I was playing clarinet in marching band. Mm-hmm. Not so cool. Not so good.
I
You know,
love
the
the sound
clarinet
of the
players, you end up
clarinet.
hanging out with like the color guard, the people waving flags and stuff, and you know, they were all very nice. But I wanted to play those cadences, Vince. I wanted to be
Yeah,
boom.
drumline was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but then I started. I learned how to play drums, and I started playing drums in a worship band at a church. And I did that for a long time, like 15 years or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then, I played, I got really into jazz too in high school because I joined the jazz band. And so I played trombone and a little bit of drums in the jazz band. Yeah. And so over the years, I've picked up like guitar, I have one, but I never took any lessons or anything. And I got a keyboard, which I think you can kind of see. Oh, you could if I widen the field of view, but keyboard's cool too.
Nice.
But that's kind of what's driven me to all these videos on YouTube, because I wanted to learn more about music. Because even though I learned how to play instruments in school, it was never really taught, like, even in jazz band, it was never really taught, like everyone's solos sounded awful, right? And we'd go to these jazz not competitions, but just like showcase things with other schools. And some of these other schools had kids who clearly knew what they were doing. Like they understood how
That's not fair.
to improvise. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, so I need to figure this stuff out. And so that kind of drove me to learning more about like why music sounds good in certain ways, or how it makes you feel in different, what makes you feel what.
So you've been basically exploring music theory on your own then?
Yeah, music.
I mean, is the theory what you're getting at, or is it sort of just a broader understanding you're looking for?
So like the theory's weird, right? Because it's really just a way to explain something about music, but it doesn't really help you in terms of making music, right? Like at the end of the day, like it's something that you feel, and it's something that you want to play. You want to play that feeling, I guess. It's like it's art. It needs to be expressive, but like the theory can help you vocalize in words what you just did, right? Or like in words why something maybe, it's we like to find patterns, right? As humans, so
or
it's
to
a
tell
good way.
someone what chord you're playing. I don't know, man. I put my fingers here and it sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, I know chords I'm playing, but like I'm talking about like, oh, well, that was like a secondary dominant to bring me into this other key, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's when I started playing music, was in middle school. So I got a little bit of a background in terms of playing music.
TAPgiles, do you have a music background at all?
Somewhat.
I had it in the back of my head. Like I know there's some TAPgiles Music Association. I don't remember what it was precisely.
I've had my time with the guitar. Of bit of keyboard stuff. Just some Fruity Loops and some. Is it called Music 2000 or something on the PS2?
Music 2000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Prince Tara was really into that too, I think.
Really?
Music 2000. Yeah.
I got some on the PC. It's called EJ, as opposed to DJ, and that kind of started me off. It was like a free disc from school. Like making music in DAW type places. I've done more of that, and I've done music in dreams, a few tracks. One of them's ended up 7 minutes long because I don't know how to end a track. But yeah, I kind of
Vince, there's your next video: how to end a song. You can make it right just for tap.
Yeah, so kind of understand some of the theory stuff, but I'm it's funny the way my brain works. I kind of am a more like to understand the rules just like with dreams and making documentation and stuff. I just enjoy figuring out what the rules are. With music and stuff, like Vince was talking about, of how it feels and the place you want to go with it, with like improvising a solo and things.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is really hard for me. But if I have something like a clip that's on loop, and then I can kind of think about a little melody in my head, and then I add that, and then I keep listening to the loop, I end up with a really tall track, and then start splitting it up and widening it into 7-minute long tracks. That's how that
an
happens.
interesting approach. So you kind of like build you build things on a loop and then distribute. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find that do you find that helps you like helps you get in touch with a different part of your brain, with a different way of working? Because talking about trying to understand the rules of music, that feels very relatable to me. I feel like when I was younger, I probably the first music thing I did was just singing in a church ensemble. And then they had a big drama program at the church I was at, and so we did musicals, and that was very intuitive. It was like, oh, I guess I have enough natural talent to come up here and to sing, sort of on pitch, and then when I started to play clarinet and get more into music theory, and I felt like I didn't understand the rules. And I was trying to understand the rules, and I got hung up. I would always just get hung up on like the rules and the technicalities. And I think at a certain point, I was no longer like responding emotionally and intuitively, and it just it became like an overthinking exercise. I don't know. I think like it took me a long time to come back around to just be expressive. Just express yourself,
I think part of it is like a voice. You're gonna like naturally be more familiar with that as an instrument. So you don't have to think about like the keys or the buttons or whatever. And you kind of, like Vince was saying, the theory of music comes out of music that just feels good to listen to. And as you grow up and just listening to music that works well, you just get a sense of like what would feel right in that key. And you can kind of improvise easier with your voice along to a music track.
Yeah.
Than with you have you have to choose a note to press on the keyboard.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like feeling, it should be slightly higher or whatever.
There's a layer of decision making in there. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's more like mechanics in it. Like it's not just your head to your mouth. It's like your head to your fingers and knowing where you are on the keyboard and all that kind of stuff. So it's trickier. So like, I think that's why when I listen to it on loop, I can just listen to like what my head says the melody should sound like along with it.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to just perform it outright on the controller or drawing it on the piano roll. Someone that's more experienced with that, with actual theory and working that way, probably find it easier on the piano roll to improvise like that. It's an interesting thing.
Reddish Boat in the chat said, well, earlier he said, my father plays the euphonium, so euphonium represent. and then said on the subject of ending songs, he says he usually tries to think narratively. I think that's a good way to like get yourself out of the overthinking when you're making music. It's something, just a different approach. A fade out serves a song where the narrative is about something that is unresolved, for example, says Reddish Boat. Or if you want to punctuate a statement that you are ending on, an abrupt stop will work very well. Yeah, good tips.
I guess it's I'm a writer. write very often, but theoretically, I'm a writer. I've done writing in the past of fiction stories and stuff. And yeah, it's interesting listening to musicians like Neely and other ones talk about like repeating sections as calling back to a thing, or it's like this arrangement of notes is foreshadowing this other bit in the chorus or something like that. And that's all that stuff is very kind of narrative feeling terminology, like the way there's like a through line, but there are changes within it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a good way to put it.
All right, now I need to ask, meanlad, do you have any background in music, or have we just been dragging you down this path for 10 minutes? We just ended up with music.
Like music. Yeah, no, I dig it. Like for me, my music background, I didn't really play like instruments. I've played like some guitar. Like everyone in my family plays guitar. Like everyone, like every direct and obscure family member.
Wow.
But I was kind of like the latest to the party. But I was sort of like in a choir since I was like super young. And then when I was in high school, I was in like an a cappella group. But when it got to the a cappella group, it was a bit more intense, because in the choir it was all very low key. We're just here to have fun. Hit those notes, so on and so forth. But then like with my a cappella like mistress, whatever you want to call her, she would like give us like books of music and be like, sweet, learn this. And then like I didn't know how to read like music. Me and my other friend who was the other tenor in our group, we were both from choir, but the other people in the a cappella group were from like the orchestra and all these various things. So like they could read music pretty much on site, you know what I mean? But we'd kind of be like, bruv, what are these notes? And there was kind of just like this permanent joke of like tenors having to come to the piano, and then she would like take us through our notes, and we'd be like, just do section by section, because like we just didn't understand. So yeah, I feel like for me it was more on the feeling end. The theoretical side was like not my strength. But yeah, no, super loved it and super enjoyed it.
Totally,
music
totally
is vibes.
Totally relate to that.
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I was in a lot of choirs, but as soon as there's not once that I ever looked at a piece of sheet music and sang the correct notes. Like I would like, it would be more about like judging the spatial relationships. Like, well, I know that this is where I'm supposed to sing here. And then this one goes up a few, okay. So I think I could feel my way through this.
Exactly. There's a lot of improvisation, and you can kind of fade a bit into the background in the choir. You can sing maybe not so loud, the parts you aren't great with. But in the a cappella group, when there's like 8 of you, like if someone's off, everyone will hear it. And so it's like, there was a lot more sort of precision.
Or if you're trying to get away with not singing, someone's going to notice.
No music to pretend you were following.
Yeah, exactly. And like, we went to like a wedding once, and it was like one of our most difficult songs. And it just had like for the tenors like the highest notes, and it was intense. And we're like, oh, okay, you're gonna choose this song? Like, okay, for sure. That's fine. But no, it was great. I always dug it. Yeah, I feel like music is vibes, and that's also a great thing about Dreams, how like integrated everything is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for so many things, you could be like, okay, sweet. You can like make a game with like sweet visuals. You can do whatever. You can have like awesome animations, whatever it would be. But Dreams also has like a super robust like music and audio editing sort of like software that's built in, and it's so easy to like Vince and I worked on a game like a couple months back. And I was like, oh, Vince, bro, like I are bad at music, please make. And he made like this awesome music also in like no time. Vince is like a music legend, big shout out to Vince. But like, and it's just like so easy. Vince would be like, okay, sweet, I'm just going to do this. And then like, like Vince also has that like narrative elements of music down like really well. So yeah, the like the opportunity for collaboration and just the like mixed media vibes of Dreams. The fact that you can bring music in is just, it's epic. It's honestly, there's nothing like it.
And I mean, it's so easy to take for granted. I feel like I say this all the time, but it's so easy to take for granted that you can be working on an intense logic problem, and on a whim, in a heartbeat, you could be making music. Like, and your logic is right over here where you left it, But like,
and then you lose the design label. You spend so long making music, you're no longer a designer.
Are you audio now?
Couldn't name.
Oh, I've been audio for like 100 levels.
Oh, wow.
No matter how much I do. No matter how much I do, I can't bring the design back. I'll maybe get it as a secondary one.
Yeah.
And then someone will release a game and I'll play it. And then next time I level up, I'm back to audio with like play as my secondary. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's
Yeah.
never
Just
gonna
got
get
to kick
there.
that habit, Vince. You got to go cold turkey.
I can't.
Don't
It's
even
too
think
fun.
about music.
It's too fun.
So maybe this is the downside where you could be working on an intense logic problem and then decide to make music in a hurry. Maybe we need to separate that music editor so it's not so distracting to Vince. Well, this has been a lovely detour. I want to squeeze a short break in here at around the midway point. Boy, the time is flying. As usual, the time is flying. All right, so we will be back in just a few minutes with you. Sit tight. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. I got a question. I got a question for you. I wanna make it about me for a minute. And
How awesome am I?
yes, good question. Let's go to you first, Ted. No, the reason that I'm on Twitch and I'm and I have streamed a lot of dreams on Twitch, and I am not on YouTube, is that creating a YouTube video takes me forever. Creating any kind of video. Like I've done a lot of video stuff in my past, but I'm too. I get worried about hung up on the wrong details. I get too meticulous. Streaming is great for me because I can be here in the moment, be present for what's happening, and it starts and it ends, and then I'm done with the stream. A YouTube video, I mean, I'll sit down to put a few hours in, and then the next day I'll sit down to put a few hours in, and then another day, and then I'm kind of tired of it for a few days, and then I come back to it and I'm like, but this part is all wrong, and you cannot be successful on YouTube. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. There are people who produce very high quality content and don't publish it terribly often and who do very well. So that can be a working model. But for making something like a dreams tutorial, you need to push out more content than I am capable. Did you guys have any tips for someone like me? Any tips for getting through the work, for staying focused on the details that are important to making a video that's gonna help people or get people's attention?
I think I would have exactly the same struggles.
Yeah.
And I specifically make myself only record tutorials live on stream. So all of my tutorials are recorded from streams, and I edit them and take out the bug I introduced and spent 20 minutes fixing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the top quality would be script it, record it, and if you make any mistakes, re-record that section.
Yeah.
Re-recording it to get it right, and then put it in the video, and then you voice over, and then you edit that together.
Get some production music.
Yeah, and I would worry in the same way about all the details and getting it perfect before releasing anything. So that's why I force myself to only use stream footage, and then it's just that's what I got. So that's what you're getting. Then that means that I can produce the amount of content that I do.
That's smart. That's smart. There's a lot less decisions to make editing down your live presentation versus the scripting approach.
Because it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be as good as you can make it from what you have.
Yeah.
Kind of that limitation means you can forgive yourself for it not being top quality or whatever.
Oh, anyone else with any tips?
I feel like like you can't I feel like there is kind of like a bit of a spectrum, you know, from just like YOLO jumping in and doing whatever, and then like having things like super scripted and like almost reading from your script as you do it. And I've kind of experimented with both. I generally tend to like, when it comes to my tutorial videos, is I'll make the thing entirely from scratch in like Dreams, whatever it might be, and I'll be like, okay, sweet, this is how I'll do it. Then I'll delete it all, and I'll be like, okay, cool, now I'm gonna make it again from scratch. Like, I always like to start with like, as you go and you get your like little, you know, your little block that you're on, add your puppet in, and so there is a bit of like, you know, you're redoing the takes and stuff, like especially with my oohs in the beginning, because like if I just jump in straight, the first one will be like ooh, you know, it won't be great. So you have to do like, you know, you get the right tone and everything like that. But yeah, every now and then you'll do things. Sorry, my voice is getting funny now. Every now and then you'll do things where just like it didn't work nicely, or you spent like 17 minutes doing something that could have taken like 5, and you sort of reshoot things. And like my PS4 was like perpetually just like max hard drive capacity, because I've just got like 100 gigs worth of like trash like videos that just I didn't use or whatever. And so yeah, I think I don't think it necessarily needs to be scripted. I also kind of like, maybe it sounds bad, but I also kind of like to sometimes make mistakes in my videos, because I feel like if you do things perfectly, people might fall into like subtle little pitfalls along the way and then get stuck and be like, oh, but I don't know how to do it. I'll be like, oh, mates, like this is like a common mistake that someone would make, or that I would make if I did this, and this is how you fix it. And so I feel like if you have that bit more improvisational approach, it kind of just it helps it. I also organize my videos, so I'll do like a section on, you know, the design or whatever, and then like a section on the, like maybe using a particular part of Logic, and then like a section on the finishing touches, the tweaks and whatnot, just so that you don't have to film like a whole dank video in one take. You can, you know, work on one section at a time, and if you mess it up, you only have to redo like a few minutes, sort of a thing. But yeah, so that's my approach.
Nice.
Nice.
What is your approach like, Vince?
Yeah, I mean, I've always I only recently started using like actual editing software. I did everything on what's the PlayStation editing thing?
Share Factory.
Share Factory, yeah, that's right.
Represent.
So like for like over a year, I filmed, you know, recorded all the videos just in Dreams, and then cut it all together in Share Factory, which I did that for way too long. That thing kind of sucks. But
did you then add a voiceover after the fact?
No, I would do it while I was making it. So I would just talk, because it would record the audio and the video at the same time. And you know,
I didn't know you could do
PlayStation's
that
cool.
like in the box.
Yeah, I mean that's what the share button does, right? So like you can capture clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a setting to say if it also captures your voice
microphone. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I mean, that's got to be really helpful for if you're just trying to get started in this and you don't have a background editing video and things like that. Seems like, I mean, I don't know if you did, but just for anyone, that seems like a really useful tool.
Yeah, it's all right. I think the PS5 version, I briefly looked at it. It has some more features than the PS4 one did. But there's all kinds of limitations. You can only have like so many clips in there. So I ran into a couple. There were a couple videos I made where like I hit the clip limit, and so I'd have to export the whole thing, and then bring that whole thing as a one clip into the new thing. Total pain in the ass.
Bouncing.
But yeah. So, you know, recently I got some stuff, and I wouldn't say that any of my videos are like very high production quality. Like I don't have like, none of my videos so far have like, you know, none of them are scripted. None of them have like really any like, you know, background music, or, you know, like, if you were to look at videos by like Intra Takeout, for example, like his latest video on his, I don't know if that's your latest video now, but the video on how he made what was it, Cold Conundrum, his the Christmas thing. Like that was a great video. It had like background music, it had a script, it was like easy to follow, and it was interesting to hear his thought process. So obviously, like the tutorial videos are a little bit different in that sense, but I'd like to get
Yeah.
more into something like that, like TAPgiles video or like Game Maker's Toolkit, right? Like he's got really great videos about, um, you know, it's scripted and it's kind of broken down into chunks that make it more interesting to watch. Because the last thing I want to do is release a video that's just like 20 minutes of me building something that somebody doesn't even really care about. Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Intratech Out said just a few minutes ago, that whole process made me stop uploading tutorials.
Yeah. So I'm
less
planning on
tutorials
trying
now.
stuff like that in the future, like more like my next one of my upcoming videos I've been working on. It's definitely taken me a lot longer, so I can understand why you'd feel that kind of like, that you don't want to make videos because it does take a while. But usually I would do all of the editing in one sit down. Like I do all the recording in one like sit down if I could. This upcoming video I haven't. I've done it all over the place because I'm taking video from like other games and stuff too. But I like to do all the editing in like one go. It takes a long time, but it's if I leave it, if I start it and then leave it, I don't know. I've never tried that before. I like to just get it all done. But yeah, I mean to flip the whole thing on its head, I mean I've streamed a few times, but I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you sit there for 8 hours.
Well, I don't
I'll
anymore,
stream.
but
I'll stream in like an
As long as
hour,
you-
hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm like ready to not do it anymore. Like, it's fun.
it's tiring. Like it's just
but it is very tiring for me.
is it the splitting
I
your
think so, yeah.
attention or?
It's the splitting the attention, also the talking. Like I don't talk a lot when I'm like doing it alone, right? If I'm making
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like if I'm trying to think about something, like I write software for a living. If I had to talk while I wrote software all day, it might be kind of tough.
Yeah.
Making music, I can't do it on the stream. I've tried. I've successfully done it maybe once or twice, but it is so much more difficult for me.
I find it difficult too, making music in particular. There's like I want, I don't know, the parts of my brain that chat requires sometimes I think I need for making music. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I recently worked on a song with Ghost Root, and like at the beginning, I tried recording like how I was gonna make this song because I thought might be an interesting video, and I did record that. But like watching it back, I said like there were such long gaps of me not talking because I was like hearing it and I was trying to put what I was feeling, and so I can't talk and do it at the same time. So,
I will say that
props to you for all the streaming.
I think
'Cause I don't know how you do it.
creating on stream is much more difficult to me than creating or than playing on stream or than
Totally.
or than hosting a discussion like this. Like those things are much easier. Creating on stream, like trying to be creative, to do problem solving and all this stuff, it's definitely difficult. I've done it a lot less too. Like I think also as my like the list of like my to-do list in dreams gets thicker over time. Those things feel more like a task I need to get. Like I don't want to split my attention. I just want to have time to sit down and just get that done. Right. It's challenging. It is challenging.
Yeah, but there are people who do it. Piece of Craft and Yade, like they're on there just sculpting away. And I mean, maybe sculpting. I'm not very good at it, right? But like even Kareem, right? Like he would just go on and on and on while sculpting something really cool. And I always found those super enjoyable to watch. I actually wish there was more of that on YouTube, to be honest. So, how to sculpt things. I think that's pretty cool. Like the new the Jimmy the Cultist, he started that channel with the that other dude he makes stuff with. He started putting out videos recently. I think they're fun, like because he's sculpting and you can kind of hear his thought process a little bit while he's Acer too. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. He sits there and I mean he does a lot of this, but I don't know how he doesn't get tired of it. Of sitting there for like 6 to 8 hours.
It's his youth. It's his. We'll credit it to his youth. He's got endurance.
Yeah.
What is he like? He's like 17, right? No, I'm kidding.
Disgustingly young.
He's
I
old.
think. Yeah, when I stream, if I teach the whole time, so I start at 3 and end at 5 when MM starts streaming. Usually, if I'm teaching from the moment I start to then like an hour in, my throat is like on fire and it's really hard to talk and stuff. It's just really awful, is what I'm trying to say. Really awful.
How's it feeling now?
I'm fine. For some reason, when I'm like teaching, it's different. Something's different about it, which means my throat dries up way quicker. Maybe I'm not drinking enough, but I feel like I'm reminded enough from chat to keep hydrating. But now I kind of make sure I take breaks by like just playing something or listening to a bit of music or something where I don't have to talk and I'm not like, on and trying to explain things.
I definitely feel that. When I started streaming Dreams, it was when they let you start streaming Dreams, basically at the start of early access. I think I had scheduled 35 hours a week, and I was regularly doing like 40 to 50. Those first few weeks of talking for 7-8 hours straight every day were exhausting. They were so exhausting. It took a while to build up the endurance, and it took a while to adjust to what it does to you, what it does to your personality, and what it does to you emotionally to sit and hear just your own voice for 7 or 8 hours at a time. This is a habit I've had to learn to break. I'm sure I still am guilty frequently. Mrs. Bjones could tell you, but after 7 hours of talking to chat on stream, I would like just come upstairs, talk to Mrs. Bjones, and I would stay in that same mode. Like I'm just talking, having my own experience, and not like it's not a two-way thing. Once you get at that energy level, and I would have to make a point of manually dialing it down. And that's right. There are other people to hear now.
Right.
Meanlad, have you done any streaming, or have you stuck to video creation?
So I've done like a little bit of streaming, but never with my face. So this is actually #face reveal.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. Yeah, exactly. So like I've done like a bit of streaming. It was mainly when like I worked on like this tower defense game that I made, and whenever I release an update, I do like a stream where like I play it for an hour and stuff, and show people the new features and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think like mainly my vibe has been sort of like situated like YouTube vibes. I haven't really done anything on Twitch or stream stuff. I guess I kind of just haven't gotten into it. Vince has been like, bro, you should stream, bro, and I've been like, oh, bro, but I'm scared, bro.
Bro, you should stream, bro.
But I'm scared, bro. Yeah, and like, but I have also thought about stuff and like, what I might do and things like that. Like some people have been like, oh, please help how to sculpting, So I think there's always like an opportunity to try that sort of stuff, and whether it would be on Twitch or YouTube, I'm not too sure. But Yeah, I feel like I just like the YouTube vibe because what I was originally into was like making those kind of like short and sweet tutorials that people could watch and be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here's the sort of the like focus of the thing, and I also feel like Vince, like talking for a while, like even doing like a 1 hour stream, you know, like beforehand, I'm like I'm like stressed, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, the stream, it's gonna be intense, and by the end, I can like sleep, you know. Um, so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be a thing in future. You know, now that my face is, you know, out there in the world, maybe
You
the
can't
stream
take it
is
back.
inevitable. Exactly. You know, just like, but yeah, it's a bit of here and there, but and not a very direct answer. But I hope it indirectly answers your question.
Absolutely. Let me ask another a direct question to everyone.
Yeah, you got any other? Sorry, continue.
We've had a lot of names of other tutorial creators pop up during the show, but anyone you would like to highlight? You would like to shout out? Whose work you'd like to recognize? Who's not on the panel here? There are, I mean, I say because there are so many people that I wouldn't dare to suggest that we're representing the tutorial makers at large here.
Yeah.
You're talking about dreams.
It's a big group of people. Yeah,
Just
I mean, I want to have
dreams in general.
I'd love to have a couple more podcasts like this of having dreams content creators on the YouTube
Absolutely.
side. Coming on and talking because I know the Twitch world very, very well. I know the YouTube community much less well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I got a pretty big list of people that I think make great content.
I'll block out the next 10 minutes for you. Go.
Well, I mean, we already mentioned Acert. InterTAC has some great videos. Here, I'm just scrolling through my list here. Goat House, he goes by Goat House. His Twitter's so what? He goes by Goat House on Discord. His YouTube channel's Justin Lied. I think that's his full name. That dude makes some pretty neat stuff.
Goat House has been doing that crazy like single smeared
single
stuff,
like
right?
Yeah, all these neat techniques to do like some pretty out there stuff.
Like some dark magic over there.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
wizardry
exactly.
happening. Do you? So you said it was Justin Lied? I don't think I follow them on YouTube.
Yeah, here I got the. You want the? It's YouTube.com. Here, I'll just.
I want that link
in the chat here.
Because I watched some of those videos on Twitter, and I go, I need the explained like I'm 5 version of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't tend to.
He doesn't
make a
voice over.
tutorial explaining what's going on. It just shows you an insane thing. Often I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What did I just see?
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, if you're familiar with the Dreams tool set, you don't necessarily need like a voiceover. You can kind of, because like a lot of his videos, he is going through the motions of how he made it.
Yeah.
But you really have to pay attention. Who else? I worked on that game Thump with, well, he goes by Jack online. What is his YouTube?
Oh, Jack. We all know Jack, of course. Jack.
What? Isn't it Wathcloth, Vince?
Yeah, Wathcloth on right, exactly. So what is his YouTube channel? I'm looking for it. Because he does these design journals. His name is Dakota, so let me see. I'm just gonna search. He does these design journals where he talks through how he made a game, and you know he's a game designer like by profession. So really great information in his videos on like his thought process of how he designed various things. And he did one on Thump. Let me see if I can. Can't believe I'm blanking on this. Here it is. Okay, so his YouTube channel. There we go. Found it. So I'll paste that in the chat as well. The design journals are really nice. I find them pretty entertaining and interesting.
Well, I am subscribed on both now. Looking forward to that.
And I'm sure I'm missing somebody else as well, Lucid Stew. I don't think he's posted in a while, but watched a ton of those.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Lucid Stew over time?
Done a lot of like really in-depth zoning in on like one small aspect of like he has a hefty explanation of the entire thermo-subthermo taxonomy and
Yeah, the
how all those things
sculpting
work.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Lightworks. He's the one that started that whole Pebble thing. He's got some cool
Remember
videos too.
Yeah, the video, and he's the MM team now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did he
cool.
get hired as a dreams specialist?
Yeah.
Can't keep track.
I think Lightworks was on the. I haven't listened to it yet, but Lightworks was on the Made in Dreams podcast a couple weeks ago. That one is still
nice.
queued up for me.
Epic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing somebody. If I am, and you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, there's so many people to miss. It's a big,
Yeah.
wonderful group of people. There's a lot of content out there now.
I will say I am stoked whenever I find a new Dreams YouTube channel,
Yeah.
especially if it's not their first video. I'm like, oh my god, look at all this stuff I can watch. So I still find it exciting.
When do you all three of you like what do you watch on YouTube in from Dreams and what is the time that you watch it? Like where does that slot into your lives? I'm curious.
Yeah, I feel like it's like at random times for me. I don't necessarily have like dream o'clock. Because
I
like
just have a clock.
it's
I
like
have a clock on my wall, and it just says where the 12 was.
I mean, aside
it
from
says
this one,
dreams,
yeah.
and then the one
Yeah.
dreams. It's
exactly.
always dream
Yeah,
o'clock.
I feel like you know, I feel like it's kind of like whenever, you know, I'll hit up I'll hit up like the MM Twitch stream and so on and so forth. And if there's like some cool like tutorials and stuff out there, I'll definitely hit those up. Vince's tutorials, I love watching those as well because I'm always just like, I always just like learn stuff and I just have my mind blown. And actually speaking of people that we would like subs and stuff, there's this one chap called Game TV BRA. He's a Brazilian Dreams YouTuber. So his tutorials and stuff are on Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese, but it's just dope that there's like Dreams tutorials and stuff that are, you know, getting produced in other languages and all these sorts of things. Because I feel like a lot of us, you know, Southern Hemisphere folks, in South Africa, we're lucky because we're English speaking. But if we weren't, we wouldn't necessarily gain. I wouldn't necessarily gain the same amount of traction if I spoke, you know, like Portuguese, Spanish, or whatever it might be.
Right.
Or even like, you know, some of the languages in South Africa aside from English. So I think it's always dope to like give shout outs to people from around the world who are doing like the same stuff as us, but just like have a different audience. But yeah,
Infinity
so-
as well. I can't
Logus.
remember.
yeah.
Logus. They're also Brazilian.
Ah,
Yeah.
Infinite
Brazilian,
Dreams
much love to my
is
Brazilian
French, right?
Yeah.
and actually,
I
I
think
think
they were-
speaking of Frenchies, speaking of French folks, I think Fluxymax, who made Listre, is doing like a flat colors tutorial. You know, like Listre, the one where you're like on that little, there's that little lighthouse and you're the little birdie and stuff. Yeah, like she's doing a tutorial on how to do like the flat colors. I saw like on the tweeters. I'm so
Yeah,
hyped for that because I'm like, I don't know,
I
she
saw
did
that on
tutorials.
Reddit.
Yeah, I'm
she
just
put
like,
out the tutorial.
what?
They put it
Okay,
out.
sorry guys, leaving stream. Cheers, bye. No, but yeah, there's so much cool stuff. I feel like I lost the point.
I just
What was
dropped the
original
link to that
question?
one.
Nice.
I believe I got the correct
I'm
one.
happy for this. Yeah, but sorry, I forgot the original question. I went on a bit of a tangent.
I guess just dreams YouTubers that you want to shout out, or actually, I will also ask how that watching this kind of content fits into your life.
Right. When you do it.
Yeah.
At Dreams
I
o'clock.
feel like I've sort of said so. Yeah, dreams o'clock. Every moment of every day is dreams o'clock.
Whoa. Looked like there's an earthquake going on.
Yeah. Stop touching your desk.
Hold on, let me shake
Hands
this
off.
one for you guys.
Yeah, for me, it's usually like late afternoon or something. I've like had a hard day of teamsing and helping and stuff. And I've got my own separate, just personal YouTube account, and then I have my TAPgiles account. On there, I only subscribe to Dreamers. So then I go to the subscriptions, and it's only got Dream stuff in it, pretty much.
Nice.
I can catch up on what people are up to. There's a couple of people that have just recently made some teaching type of videos. One is Ian Sane Artist.
Ooh.
Nice.
Showing how to so they're known for their environment art and like sweeping landscapes and mountains and crazy stuff like that. And they're showing like how they've got huge collections that people can take from. And he's showing how to like can just quickly put these together and have like a really awesome landscape, which is pretty awesome. And
They got a few videos up there now. I love their work. I didn't realize they were YouTubing. I am now subscribed.
yeah, I think they just
Namesies.
started. Pretty cool. And also CG Cody. Just recently on Twitter, particularly, has put out a couple of interesting videos on some tricks for like, visual effects, I guess you'd say. One on bounce light, but using paint flecks to glow the bounce light stuff and like moving it around and stuff. And it's
That sounds fascinating.
some really smart stuff going on over there. It doesn't do like a lot of tutorials, but like always be eye-opening when he releases one. Check that out.
Nice. I'm struggling to not struggling. I'm trying to keep up with posting some links in chat for people.
Cool.
And I've got 3 very important ones coming up right here. We've dropped so many links.
Yeah, there's a lot of links. Also, Saku's Mind. I was forgetting somebody.
Sorry.
CG Cody as well.
If you want art stuff, definitely check out Saku's Mind.
Well, if you're not already subscribed to VinceKully, TAPgiles, and meanlad on YouTube, there are the links. I just dropped them for you. Oh boy. Well, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end of this thing, and that always makes me sad. It's been a lovely chat, and yeah, I guess I want to ask as we're winding down if there's any subjects we haven't touched on, anything going on in the community that you guys want to get into, any hot button issues or any favorite creators or games you want to highlight, or just anything on your mind around Dreams lately that you want to get off your chest.
Are you going to win an Impy this year, Keld?
How many impies are you going to win this year, Kelt?
When does the short list come out?
Well, there's one for that, and then 2 for that one.
I have been very fortunate in years past. I believe I will be slightly less recognized this year. That's my guess. This community just keeps getting bigger. So I mean, to be here in the beginning and win a couple impies, I'm really grateful for that, because it's only getting harder. This community is full of so many amazing people doing amazing things that the competition at this point is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I dodged the question.
I feel like I feel like with that community and with the community and stuff, like as it grows and stuff, I feel like for me, I think there's like a lot of videos, and there was this like big discourse about like how you can't make money in Dreams or whatever it might be, and so people were like dropping off, and that there was like a big surge of people when Dreams first started, and then it sort of like leveled out a bit, and people
Dead
are
game.
always sort of like fighting. Yeah, all those sorts of vibes. But like, I just haven't gotten that impression like at all in doing the things I do in Dreams. And in like communicating with like the community and stuff, like in terms of like YouTube things, I've just been getting more and more sort of involvement. And like now Dreams, like in a winter's journey or whatever it is, it's like a feature film like being made in Dreams, and it's just like all like more and more things that are just like further legitimizing Dreams as like a creation tool.
Yeah.
And it, for me, it just feels like it's getting more steam, and there's like more, you know, I'm getting comments where it's like, oh, I'm new to Dreams, please help, how do I do this and that? And I'm getting more and more of those these days. And
That's
so
great.
it feels, yeah, so I kind of get mad whenever I see those dreams about. I mean, whenever I see those videos about like, oh, dreams is dead, or dreams is this and that and the next thing, because it just feels like, and when you watch them, you just feel the biggest lack that I feel like people have when they do those things is they'll like jump into the tool set and they'll try and sculpt something and they'll just be like, oh, Blender is better or whatever, but there's never engagement with like the community. That's like always a big thing that's lacking with those sort of criticism videos. And so for anyone who sort of has doubts about those sorts of things, I would say just get involved with the community, you know, and put stuff out there. And like people are so willing to help and like ask questions and be like, oh, that's so amazing. Can I use it in my own dreams? Like, or, you know, how did you do that? All these various things. So I think like as time goes on and Dreams gets like even more and more like legitimized and more people pick it up, I think it's, you know, it's all uphill, you know, the whole journey is, it's great, and I'm liking where it is, and I'm liking where it's going. And now I'm very much waxing lyrical, but that's what's on my mind. Now that that's off my chest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People who want to suggest Dreams is dead or whatever version of that, you know, that has never felt accurate to me in any way. It'd be nice to have a higher player count. It would be nice to have more players. Like I think that's. Yeah. That is something that feels like it's missing, you know. Even really impressive work in Dreams, you know, the ceiling on plays and likes right now is so much lower than I'd like to see it. I mean, there is more impressive work being published every day. And it doesn't feel like there are as many people as I want to play it. But but there are so many things happening. Just to color in the thing you mentioned, I'm so desperate for more details on what this movie thing is about. For anyone who didn't hear about this, a couple days ago, there was an announcement that Sony Pictures, I think Sony Pictures Classics, is that the division, was picking up a film that is being partially made in Dreams. And it stars John Malkovich and I don't remember the other fella's name. Jason Isaacs. There we go. Yeah. Ridiculous. I mean, that sounds like incredibly exciting news for Dreams, but I think that's about all the details we have so far.
That's pretty cool. I hadn't heard of that.
The director or someone involved made the film about.
Was it the Vincent
Van Gogh?
Remembering
that Loving
Vincent or something?
I think it's Loving Vincent. And like every frame is like a painting, like an oil painting. That was actually epic, yeah.
Wow.
So
I haven't seen it, but it was arty.
I think it might be on Prime Video, at least in the States right now.
I think what I gathered, or maybe I just guessed, I think they're using Dreams for like environment type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some like dream sequence type arty sequences like that. So that would be pretty cool.
That's the impression I got. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't say this, but it kind of sounded like it might be the kind of film where you've got some real world sets and then these, you know, more fantastical locations that they're making in Dreams. But I don't know, like you know what? Boy, I didn't even think about this yet, but I don't go to the theater. I mean, look, COVID aside, I have not been going to the theater much in recent years. My interest has waned. I'm practically salivating at the thought of going to see a movie in a big theater that's partially made in Dreams. That is really, really exciting to me. I will definitely be leaving my house if that shows up in theaters around me. I hope it's gets a nice big release and get some people talking about Dreams after the fact, because I mean, we talk about, like whatever you're into in Dreams, like I feel like it's easy to tunnel vision on that, and you can just be into the music community and focus on the music. There's a whole animation community. For some people, Dreams is about nothing but making games. But just to lend it that, I guess, legitimacy that of being used as a production tool in a big film release, it's very, very exciting. Very exciting. So
that's pretty neat.
Makes the whole 10-year plan thing kind of feel more real. When you get these like larger and larger things coming along over time, kind of feels like Dreams is like slowly expanding. I think meanlad was talking about the people saying Dreams is dead and stuff. I get kind of infuriated by that on Reddit. I'm just leaving a Dreams is dead post, and it's just super like pushes my buttons, man.
It's a great contribution to any discussion. No, it's dead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's no like these are the facts that I'm basing this on, or this is what I mean by dead, and this is what makes a game or a creation tool dead or alive, or feels like there's no substance to these posts. They just want to say that Dreams is dead because they're frustrated by something.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you looked at Dreams, like I don't know if there's any place where we can really get like great player metrics. You can go to In Dreams and see the current live players, and that's something I just sample occasionally to get an idea of what's going on. But I think if you judge Dreams by a lot of traditional metrics, it might be fair to call it dead. Like if you were to judge it the same way you judge a Call of Duty game. I mean, when a game like a Call of Duty comes out, it's gigantic spike, and then it slowly fades. And how slow is it fading is kind of the are people going to call it dead or not? Like but it's all about that big spike in the front. That's where everything happens, and then it tapers off. And Dreams is I don't think Sony or MM were approaching Dreams with that in mind. Like, oh, it's going to be this giant hit right out of the gate. It's definitely been a slow climb.
Yeah, there was a swell at launch, and then it dropped off. I feel like Dreams wasn't meant to move units or whatever, but it's meant as more than that. It's meant as a creation tool and to introduce new people to creation, like creativity of any kind that they've never even thought they could approach. And things like that. It's to like make more creators in the world, not just about Dreams. But it's like there to take you as far as you want to go, sort of thing. And with this kind of 10-year idea, things that Dreams is going to open doors for in other industries and introduce new people to those industries and things like that. It's just going to expand over time. Like, but like on a day-to-day myself, even I don't consider myself as like a big YouTuber or anything like that. I don't like blame Dreams not being popular enough, and that's why I haven't got enough views or something. And
I do. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I'm just the way I feel about Dreams is it's Dreams. It's awesome, and I don't really care how many players are playing it at all. And I just want to help people that want to create in it and are like finding problems and bouncing off of it in different ways, help them to get over that. That's all I'm concerned with. And people that are creators in dreams, almost across the board, are concerned with creating in dreams. They're not worrying about, like, is it dead, or is it worth using it, or is there enough players or anything?
Is multiplayer out?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it came out
when's
yesterday.
PC
You didn't hear? It's yesterday. It's done.
Needs to be on PC, otherwise I refuse to use it and things like that. Like, it's kind of missing the whole point of Dreams is, I think. But so yeah, that's my rant.
You know,
I will
what's
think
interesting about all that stuff is, like, I wonder sometimes, like, how much of, like, how big really is the community, the Dreams community, in comparison to the actual player base of Dreams. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if I weren't on Twitter and if I didn't make YouTube videos, like, the only reason I have a Twitter is for the Dreams bubble that I live in on Twitter, right? And
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. I looked out at chat and I saw Gecko said remixable NFTs are the future.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you caught me off guard. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's cool. That's cool. I just, sometimes I just wonder, because, like, how many people I have following on Twitter? Like 500 maybe. And I know a bunch of people that have made Twitter just for Dreams. And but I feel like it's got to be. I mean, I doubt it's even half of right now there are 1,400 players on Dreams right now, and I kind of doubt all the people I'm following on Twitter is even a third of that.
Yeah.
There's people that don't speak English, they don't have Twitter, right? Like, I'm sure there's like I've seen some pretty crazy stuff that's made in Dreams, but I can't read it because it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if there, and sometimes I wonder, is there like a community that, I mean, it wouldn't be spearheaded by Media Molecule, I guess, unless they hired somebody to like lead that sort of like international community, like a Japanese community, or
Yeah. What do
whatever.
the non-English speaking communities in Dreams look like? I'm curious myself.
Well, I'm sure they look like people, but yeah, no, but exactly, like, even when it comes to the criticisms, like, criticisms towards games like Dead Game, whatever, there's always a vocal minority of about any game, like Apex Legends has been going strong for however many years it's been out, and still nonstop. Every time Respawn tweets something, it's fucking Dead Game. Oh, sorry, Dead Game. You know what I mean? So, sometimes I wonder, like, how much of the, like, is Dreams dying? How much is of even the people who are the naysayers, like, unless it comes out on PC, it's dead, or like Dreams sucks. Like, I'm never going to use it. Like, how many people really are saying that too? It's got to be such a small number of people.
I think oftentimes the people who are saying those things are saying them about everything. They're saying it about every other game they interact with. They're saying it about their friends. They're just like, some people are just they've got a negative response locked and loaded, and they really want to share it with you.
Yeah. Well, it's contagious, negativity. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I just think it's interesting sometimes that like the community, the Dreams community sometimes feels a little scoped in, and I feel like a lot of times people could, myself included, can take like a step back and realize that, like, it's bigger than the community.
You're saying we all need to hold L1 and press circle and scope out
on
of
ourselves.
it.
Yeah.
So deep.
Pretty cringe, but yes.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scope out, everyone.
Yeah.
To the
Hey,
point
you
about
know. No,
sorry. Oh, to the point about player counts.
Peggy 12.
Well, the podcast isn't. It's if you feel like cursing, it's game on. Maybe I should have told you at the start, but yeah, I mean, when people I hear people arguing passionately on many sides of the issue of the dreams, the population of dreams, you know, the player base, and I mean, MC Alchemist said, I do care how many people play it though, because you want to share your art and work naturally. Like, I think you can make really compelling arguments that you shouldn't, you know, don't do it for the likes, you know, don't, and I think what I connect to behind that is, if that's your main focus is, I need to create something so that I can get more thumbs up and you know, get my dopamine hits
Hot
off
dopamine.
of that. Right. Then I think you could
Fiending.
use a redirection, you know? I think maybe you could stand a turn and change your perspective a little bit. But at the same time, I do feel like the player count matters. And I know that even though I would tell people like, oh, don't focus on your likes, you know, if you're sitting around thinking about your likes, worrying about your likes and stuff, you're wasting your time. You could be making something, you could be playing something, you could be, but on the flip side, I know that I'm a person who just can't help but create things. Like it just feels like my life isn't functioning properly unless I'm working on something creative, unless I'm creating. And a big part of that is wanting to share it with other people. I mean, you know,
Right.
I write a song or
And
something
maybe.
like, and part of what I want is to make someone else feel something. And so that's where I sympathize with people who are, you know, a little disheartened by the player base being relatively low for Dreams. What I think the community does not feel like it has shrunk, does not feel like it is lacking. I mean, the Dreams community, as I'm participating in it, feels like it's thriving and healthy and vibrant and amazing. And the creations that people are making feel like they're it's incredible to see the stuff every week. You know, back in the beta, early access, it'd be like, you know, once a month something comes out. You're waiting around for something really cool to see. And now it's like every week there are more really cool things that I'm interested in than I have time to play. And so, I mean, I feel great about the platform in those ways, but I do want more people to share with. I don't know what the answer is. I am kind of in camp multiplayer. I do feel like that's going to be a really significant change to the platform and to player retention. But aside from that, I'm not sure. You know, what else we need to bring players in and keep them there.
I think it's interesting you were saying about kind of creating to share with people and have them like feel something when they're like experiencing your creation or things like that. I think I guess I'd say like how many people does it take to be affected by your creation to making the creation worth it? Does it require more than one person? If one person to comment and said like this touched me and made me understand a different perspective or something like that, and that's the only person that ever played it, that'd be worth it. And if you got like 1,000 likes on it or something and no comments at all, how many of those people were actually affected by your creation? How many of them played it for 2 seconds and liked it because you're Kelby owns and they like Kelby owns? Watch your streams. So like, I think likes is kind of the least.
The point went whoosh right over Kel's head.
Oh, I was self-aware in that moment.
Yeah, so I think because I think people that want or likes on their stuff have come from that place of wanting more people to experience what they've created. I guess the difference is like you can want likes if you want to, and you can create stuff to get likes solely to get likes. But just be aware that that's not necessarily the part that's actually fulfilling part of creating. It's not like the likes aren't going to make you feel fulfilled. It's going to be like personal comment from one random person, and not the like 100,000 likes anonymously or something like that. So yeah, if you're only worrying about likes, then maybe you can worry about other things as well and get just as much, or if not more, out of the whole experience.
Having these
Totally
conversations
agree.
has definitely made me think more about how I make things and why I make things, and I've enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Tap
Looks
dropping
like other
like
people agree too.
some truth bombs
Good point,
in
yeah.
the stream. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Andy's got a ratio. Sorry. Andy says if it takes me 500 hours to make it and 30 minutes for a player to play it, I want at least 1K plays to balance the man hours. He's doing math.
And there
over
better
here.
be like a super deep comment, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You better be touched. Yeah, I feel like it's epic, you know, like, and I think also like the fulfillment comes in like like that feedback, but also like in the making it itself, you know, like when you have an
Yeah.
idea, and maybe before dreams was the thing, you have an idea of something, but you could never make it. There's nothing that you could like make it in and like have it finished and it be done, you know. Like when I would have ideas, I would write them down and I would draw like a little comic or a little storyboard of what it would be like. Now in dreams you can make something, and for me it's just like having made that, you know, like maybe there was like a short story or anything, a song or whatever in your head, you can make it and have it like as a sort of complete like object that exists in the universe and the community, and like you've made it, this thing that was just imagination or it was just a daydream. You can, you know, like put yourself into it and just like bring it to life, and that's the stuff I also just love about dreams.
Well, I think one thing we all agree on is we love dreams.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Wait,
Oh yes.
was that? Oh shit! Excuse me. Was that
Are
a
we talking
thumbnail
about
opportunity?
A
dreams?
thumbnail opportunity, yeah. Well, hey, Mrs. Bjones goes through for the YouTube thumbnails. She painstakingly finds a frame where each individual looks nice and splices them together. So if you want, we could pose for her right now and give her the thumbnail. Yeah. I mean, you bust out your dabs, your whatever you need. All right, here we go. We're gonna do it real quick. 3, 2, 1. That was great for the audio listener.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing very nice poses for the benefit of the podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna be your best thumbnail yet.
we've come to the end of the time that I have been
Our listeners hate this one fact.
Yeah, these beautiful people have committed 3 hours of their day to me so far, and it's time to release them. Do you have any? We'll do some plugs before we wrap up. Does anyone have any more thoughts on anything we've discussed? You really want to get out, or should we just plug some stuff?
Yeah. At
This
the
is
end of the
live.
day, everyone in this community is a person. And I know I've gotten in little tiffs with people, but, you know, like we're all here for the same reason, and we should all love each other and, you know, be nice and, you know, get some good vibes going, you know?
I'll quack for that.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Even the nicest community in gaming needs that reminder every once in a while.
Occasionally, yeah.
Well, Vince, have you got anything? Where would you like to send people? Obviously, to your YouTube would be one place. Any place else you want to send people, or anything you want to plug?
The Gulag. No, I don't think I really have any plugs. If you haven't played Thump, go check it out. That was like the latest thing I worked on. It's a game that I worked on with Dax.
Thump
Wathloth.
with a P.
Thump.
Nice.
Thump. Yeah. Pretty fun little game. But yeah, I don't know. I did a bunch of plugging earlier, right? We were talking about different channels and stuff. So
Heck yeah. Meanlad, where would you like to send people?
Well, yeah, my channel, of course, YouTube. I don't really do much stuff other than that at the minute, but who knows? My most recent thing that I've made is a third-person shooter tutorial. I released it today. It's been something I've been wanting to do since like day one of making tutorials. People were like, "Nice fireball tutorial, but make a third-person shooter," and I was like, "Oh, remake Gears of War." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just been released, and so yeah. Check that out.
Cool.
And thank you.
Very nice. TAPgiles, where would you like to send people? How can people find you?
TAPgiles.com is the main place. It links to all my other places. It's got the documentation icons guide. YouTube.com/TAPgiles is my YouTube channel. At the moment, I'm kind of clearing house. So patreon.com/TAPgiles is where you can support me, and like every dollar on there is very valuable. So thanks for everyone that's supported me so far. Yeah, I put tutorials on there early, and sometime get around to actually releasing them publicly. But I'm kind of clearing house at the minute and just releasing one new completely tutorial every day publicly from that kind of backlog. So
Nice.
If you subscribe to the TAPgiles channel, then you'll be getting new tutorials on all sorts of different subjects over the coming months.
I will reiterate again that if you haven't seen TAPgiles documentation, his dreams documentation, or his icons guide at tapgiles.com, hugely helpful resources. Yeah, Tap has been the dreams helper at the front of my mind since, probably since I started streaming dreams on Twitch. He's been really helpful to me, and he's a really good resource. You're hung up on something, like I said, just go ask TAPgiles. Like, he's there. He knows stuff. He'll help you. So definitely check out that Patreon too. There are a lot of videos on there that, like Tap was just saying, they're exclusive to the Patreon, and they're slowly coming to YouTube, but you get to see some exclusive stuff early on, and definitely worth your time. And I guess on that note, I'm going to say thank you again so much to the three of you for being here today. It's been a lovely chat. I would go another 6 hours, but as we discussed, 8-hour streams are exhausting. And
I got a question. I got a question.
Question. Go ahead.
When are you guys coming to LA?
Oh no!
Hey.
You just had a meetup with. Didn't you just get together in person with somebody
In Vegas.
Yeah, with Elka and Ghost Fruit.
Oh, did you go to Vegas to meet them?
No, I didn't go to Vegas, but Elka was in Los Angeles, and and Ghost Fruit moved out here recently. So,
Oh, damn it, Vince! I was so jealous of seeing those videos. I mean, between COVID and then having a baby 3 months ago, like the lockdown just feels eternal for me right now. Mm-hmm. Right before in May 2020. Oh boy, wow. Is that all? It feels like 5 years ago. In May 2020, I was supposed to go to TwitchCon EU. Me and Mrs. Bjones were going to go to TwitchCon EU in Amsterdam. We were gonna hang out with Lottie and Sebastian. We were gonna meet. We were gonna go to the MM offices and meet people there. Like, and then that dream was crushed. We got a refund, but
Yeah, not the same, is it?
nope. And so it really, it just hit me right in the heart to see all these people that I know from the community getting together in person. And I hope in the not too distant future I can hug some dreamers. That's a dream of mine, just to hug some damn dreamers already. Mm-hmm. And I hope I get to hug all 3 of you at some point. All right.
Group hug. Thumbnail again.
Thumbnail.
I've never had a stream hug before. I kind of felt it. Thank you. All right. On that note, keep hugging everybody. And also, oh boy, that was going to be smooth. And then I realized I had dreams muted still. And also, keep dreaming.
Look at you go, you listen to an entire
And you can talk over the
podcast
outro. It's fun.
Right.
Thanks for having us. Woo, woo, woo.
Thanks for inviting us. That was really cool.
Quacks for everybody. Quacks
Can
for
I poop
everybody.
now?
Vince, you've been holding it this whole time?
The whole time.
Oh, we ended on poop.